Hello there, Medicine here, and this is another episode of BJD and a cup of tea. Today's BJD and a cup of tea is Dolly Spa Day. Basically, it's just going to be an overall tips and tricks and kind of a one-on-one on how to clean your BJDs, your ball jointed dolls. The very first thing I'm going to tell you is to make sure your hands are clean. Your hands have natural oils. Our skin produces oil, and obviously there could be dirt and other things on your hands. The oil from your hands, if you touch on your doll's face-ups and body blushings, can slowly erode the face-up. And that's true for any time you hold your dolls and handle your dolls for a long time. You just want to make sure that if you're going anywhere near their face-ups and their body blushing, anything that's been kind of painted, you want to make sure you have real clean hands. Some people wear gloves when they handle their dolls. I wear gloves if I'm doing face-ups because there's lots of layers and things that I don't want any of my oil to get in those layers when I do a doll's face-up. So I always make sure I wear some just basic cotton white gloves. Alright, Amarithia. She is absolutely covered in dust. So she is going to be my doll 101 here for dusting. Oh my gosh. Do you see? Like the dust is like floating off of her. Let's not get that in my teacup. There are a couple different ways you can clean your dolls. You can do a surface level clean, which is what I'm going to show you here with Amarithia. And you can do some deeper cleans. We'll get into those in a minute. But first, I'm just going to show you real basic surface level clean. Alright, so Amarithia here is covered in some dust. Dust on her chest, on her arms, on her legs. So this is actually just like a little dust cloth thing that I use for the computer. It's clean. Doesn't have any like dirt and stuff stuck to it. You want to make sure that whatever cloth you use, like a terry cloth, something soft that you use for like anything safe for like glasses and your like monitors, like your computer monitors and things, should be safe for your dolls. You just don't want it to have any kind of cleaning solution, so don't use like wet wipes on your dolls. I mean, probably could. It's probably not bad. Real gentle. I just want to get the surface level dirt off. She's got, or the surface dust. I'm going to use it on her clothes. Just a quick little scrap. Maybe see some dust floating in the air. She has a full body blushing. So when your doll has a full body blushing, you want to make sure that you're being extra gentle because you don't want to damage the blushing on your doll. Okay. So that is pretty good. Now it's like, you know, not so bad. Most of the dust is off now. See, simple. Didn't take more than a minute. Just a few seconds. Now she looks much better. So that's one way. Another thing you could do is take off the clothes and just kind of make sure that you take off. I'm not going to take off her clothes because these were actually kind of a pain to put back on. I'm just going to kind of gently fluff out the clothes, make sure I'm getting all the dust out of the cloth here. Next I'm going to talk about her wig. Synthetic wigs, this is made out of synthetic fiber, so like probably nylon, plastic. You want to have something gentle. You don't want to use like a hairbrush. I have a regular comb that I sometimes use, very gentle. I also use a toothbrush. This toothbrush is a little bit yucky. Oh, it's got some hair in it. I've used it for other dolls, so what you want to do with and I'm using this toothbrush because I'm trying to get the dust out of the wig. I'm not trying to style it. You want something that's very gentle on synthetic wigs, and you don't want to pull the hair because synthetic wigs is not like natural hair. The hair that comes out of these is going to stay out forever. It's not going to grow back. So you want to be gentle and careful when you're brushing or styling your doll's hair. The other tip and trick is to start from the bottom and work your way up. That also helps get rid of knots from the base, instead of like if you pull it here and then you're going to get this giant knot that pulls the hair out. So you go bottom up. Actually, I have a friend who's a hairstylist, and she says to do that with your real hair, with your human hair. You start from the bottom and work your way up. Well, I don't have much hair anymore. I cut it all off. I'm not trying to style it. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just getting the dust out. I'm going to comb the bangs very gently. And because this is a soft bristle brush, if I really felt it, I could use this to kind of get really gently brush out the dust that's in her lips and in her nose. Kind of gently brush out. And I don't want to use anything harsh, and I don't want to go near her eyelashes because I don't want to damage those eyelashes. That just kind of using it to gently scrape away, just softly brush away the dust that came out of her hair and is on her face. Another thing to do, if you have a can of air, you know those can of airs that you use to dust electronics, that would also work okay to get the dust out of the nooks and crannies of like the lips and the eyes and other things. So I think she looks much better now. You can use a comb. I actually have a comb. This is the comb I dedicated to my dolls. Sometimes I use it on the big side. That way there's the less chance of it getting caught. It's just the whole point of when you're doing your wigs is to be very gentle. But see how easy that is to comb now that I already went through it with the toothbrush? Very nice. So that is a very quick way to just clean off your doll surface level style. Whoa. Now all that dust from that picture before is gone. She looks so good now. And I got to spend a little bit of extra time looking at her and playing with her. The next step I would do, if I was doing just a surface level clean, maybe to go a little bit deeper. I know we just brushed that and styled it, right? We're going to take that wig off. I'm going to remove her head cap. This is hard to do with one hand. It's just being held on by magnets. And I'm going to take a peek at her eye putty. Okay. Her putty feels good. It's still sticky. Okay. Another thing you can do is to remove and redo the eye putty inside of your doll. That is another thing that you can do. I was playing with Alistar in one of the other videos I was making. Whoosh, let's get this back on. And his eye putty was nasty. The eye putty, depending on how long you've had your dolls, can dry out a little bit. And every now and then it's good to check on it. I actually did Alistar the other day in one of my other videos, the previous video, I was playing with him. And his eye, just by taking off his wig and brushing his hair, his eye got all wonky. And I was like, what is going on with his eye? The eye putty, the blue wall tack inside that was holding his eye in place had kind of dried out a little bit. And all I had to do, if you want to do that, is just take it out, knead it into a ball, roll it into a snake, and just by you kind of kneading it and playing with it, you're warming it up. The warmth from your hands helps kind of revive that stickiness. And especially because if it's inside of your dolls, it's probably not going to get dusty. It's probably not getting dirty, so it's only getting like the air, like it's getting dried out. So when you do that, just like Sculpey clay, I have tons of Sculpey clay I've had for years. You just work it. Once you work it, it kind of just slowly warms up and it gets soft again, and then it's sticky again. You stick it back in your doll like you would normally do. So that's the surface level clean. So that is a very easy way and a very simple way to get started in your dolls, is to just dust them off, brush their hair, style it, redo their eyes if they need it, and then change their clothes. If you want to change their clothes into something new, give them a fresh look, or just change the clothes to kind of clean them off. Now if you're washing your doll's clothes, make sure that you are using like a fragrance and oil free, like an all clear or all free detergent, or I've actually just done vinegar and water for some of my doll's clothes. I think it was Lear's clothes. I did a video about that years ago because the dark clothes sometimes has a lot of dye in it. Look how dusty our tunis is. I need to clean him off. Wow, that's bad. Oh my gosh, look at that layer of dust on here. I don't think this is gonna work. I might have to take these off. So you can wash your doll's clothes if you feel safe and comfortable to do so. Just be mindful of any kind of fragrance and oils. You really don't want oil on your resin, mostly because of the face-ups and the body blushings, but also just overall, your resin is porous. It can absorb that oil into it. The second level clean I would do would be dish soap. Now, if I was going to do a second level deeper clean, I would take the dolls apart. I would unstring your doll and take all of the metal S-hooks and hooks out of the doll, take the elastic out of the doll, have it in its pieces. It'll be lots of little pieces. And then get yourself like a nice bowl of water. It could be warm, it could be cool. That's not that important unless your doll's like super dirty, like maybe you were playing outside in the like dirt and it got muddy. Maybe you want some warm water for that. And like a very mild dish soap. You know, Dawn is what I use, and make sure it's not a dish soap that has like any kind of moisturizing for your skin. You're not going to want to use that for your doll because it might put oil, whatever that moisturizing kind of stuff in the fragrances could be too much. The Dawn dish soap that I use has fragrance in it. It's not like advertised as like ocean breeze or lemon lime. Like it's not that. It's just the basic dish soap. The reason that I recommend unstringing your doll and taking the elastic out and the S-hooks out is because the elastic and the metal hooks that are inside your doll, if they stay wet and don't dry properly, can get gross. The elastic can over time get moldy, especially if you have elastic inside of your doll and it stays inside of your doll without getting dry really good. That elastic inside of here, being cooped up inside of a container, could get moldy. Think of like a washcloth that you never air dry, you never leave it out to dry. If it stays wadded up, it'll grow bacteria and gross stuff. Same thing for the elastic inside your dolls. The S-hooks and the metal hooks inside of your dolls can rust. I had the Jointed Hands Al Star. When I first bought him, he came with a pair of jointed hands, and the S-hooks inside, these teeny tiny little S-hooks inside of the jointed hands were rusted. And that rust got into the resin. And that can stain the resin, it can just make the resin kind of gross. I don't know if it'll corrode the resin over time. I got replacements for it, but I'm gonna tell you, those tiny S-hooks are not something you want to be trying to like restring. They are tiny, tiny. But the metal S-hooks and hooks inside of your dolls can rust. So that is very important that anytime you get your dolls wet, that they dry properly. As you can see with our tunis here, you see all those black lines? Is it focusing? All those black lines on his body, that's from wearing those black pants for a long time. Now, if your doll has stains on them, one of the big things that everybody touts in the hobby is melamine or melamine sponges. I have one actually here that came as a gift from Al's Collections when I ordered some accessories. It's like a little white sponge. This one's in a bag. If you live in the US, I think Mr. Clean sells the same thing. It's called a magic eraser. Mr. Clean magic eraser. These are melamine or melamine sponges. You can get them cheap. I think dollar stores, Amazon, different places have them. If you have face-ups or body blushing, you do not want to use this sponge on your face, on these dolls, and also your skin. You don't really want it on your skin. Your face either. Don't put it on your face. It can remove, and it will remove the layers on your doll. Any coating that you have on your doll, it's going to remove. How these sponges work, I just watched an info video on YouTube about melamine, that's how they pronounced it, sponges. What it is it's this really itty bitty gritty thing. It's kind of more of a very fine sandpaper than it is a sponge. You're not cleaning it with like a cleaning solution. It is literally sanding the top layer of your surface away. We use these for dolls because it does sand it, but that's okay because it's very fine sanding. It's not like it's gonna like pull off all the layers. It's not gonna leave like a huge thing. And this, you can use this dry or wet. It works the best wet. I recommend wet because you don't want to be breathing in any of the particles when you are cleaning and sanding resin. It is toxic if you breathe it in. It's not good for your respiratory system. So I highly recommend wetting this because when things are wet, they don't move into the air as easily. They stay where they're supposed to be. So that's for stubborn stains. Another thing I saw is that if you don't have access to the melamine sponges, you can use a borax baking soda water solution. I don't know the ratios for that. I have never used it, but that is another option, more a little alternative to these sponges. Another recommendation is toothpaste. I know quite a few people in the hobby use like a baking soda toothpaste or a whitening toothpaste to kind of clean yellowing on dolls, because over time they yellow, kind of help bleach it back out, a whitening toothpaste. If you're going to use that, I would use a toothbrush to scrub it in there, or a very soft washcloth to wash your doll. That is only for stubborn stains. Now, if you're trying to remove your face-ups, Winsor & Newton Brush Cleaner and Restorer. This is for dried acrylic and oil color, non-hazardous, biodegradable, low vapor brush cleaner. This is what I use to remove face-ups and body blushing. So if you are done, you're like, that face-up's gotta go, I'm gonna redo this whole thing, or this is one of the things you can use. I like that because it's low vapor. It doesn't have like strong smells. It doesn't have like a super strong chemical smell. It's gentle. What I have actually done is poured it into a cup and soaked my doll in it for a few minutes. I did it with Momo, my little one, and took her apart, mostly her face. It wasn't like her whole body. Soaked it, used a toothbrush to kind of clean into those little tiny spaces, washed it. As soon as it looked like it had gotten all of the face-up off, washed it in the dish soap and water, let it dry, redo the face-up. Another thing that people use is acetone, like the nail polish remover, like pure acetone. That also works. I don't prefer acetone only because it's very strong smelling. It's a little too much for me. But those are the two things that you can do. There's probably more. There's probably other solutions on the market for face-up removal. I don't know if Winsor & Newton is still around. I got that a very long time ago. And I don't use it very often. It lasts forever because I haven't needed to take off body lotion. But for Artunis here, if I was really upset and worried about the stains on his legs from his clothes, that might be one of the things I would try before using this. And that would be to remove his face up and blushing and everything. And I don't really want to remove his body blushing. I did it myself. I'm very proud of it. So if you're trying to remove the face up or the body, that is the final deep clean that you want to do. Like you're trying to get your doll back to stock. You want to use a acrylic brush cleaner, like a paint remover kind of cleaner, or a nail polish remover, acetone type thing. Then you're going to want to wash your dolls again and get them dry. You don't want any of that stuff to stay on your dolls for too long because it could damage the resin. Resin is a little bit porous. It could absorb some things. That's why stains happen. That's why yellowing happens. Things happen. That's just the nature of owning ball jointed dolls. Well, thanks so much for watching. I hope that this video was educational for you. I hope this video helped you think about some ways to clean your dolls and maintain them. Maybe gave you some tips or tricks and what you might need to clean your dolls. And honestly, like me, I'm not worried about stains on my dolls. I prefer them fully clothed all of the time. So most of my dolls probably have really bad stains, especially the ones wearing dark, like Artunis here, because that's just the way that I like to enjoy my doll, is in their clothes. And these are your dolls. You paid for them. You use them how you like them. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and look forward to more videos in the future. Till next time, bye! Alright, quick tip for BJD clothes. So these are Artunis's pants that were completely covered in dust earlier. I took them off. I actually washed them in just some regular water. I just washed them off and kind of let them hang to dry, and that got a lot of the big stuff. Then I took a lint roller. A lint roller. I should have thought of this sooner. So doll clothes, dusty, ugly doll clothes, a lint roller. My lint roller I use a lot for crafts, so it is covered in glitter, and now it's covered in dust from doll clothes. So